Welcome to Sydney's ANZ Stadium. Super Saturday continues. It is edition 22. We're live for the South Sydney Rabbits and the West Tigers. A crucial game for both clubs. The Rabbits need a win to maintain contact with the top 8. The Tigers need a win to return to the top 4. All the pre-game talk is centred on South's injury toll, which has gone from bad to worse. We'll look at the Rabbitohs in a moment. Laurie, Daley joining me for the next 90 minutes. Take us through the Tigers outfit. They too have some injury problems.
Yeah, there's no Wade McKinnon, and Semi Latu will make his first grade debut for the West Tigers. Takiri and Bo Ryan on the wings. Ashford and Lawrence are the centres, and Marshall and Louis the halves. Bryce Gidds gets an opportunity to start tonight in the front row with Farrah, Galloway, and Fulton, Ellis and Hyington are the back row. The interchange bench for Feeder, Dwyer, Flanagan and Brown. And Tim Sheens is the coach, and Big Keith Galloway delivering up there in the sheds. He'll be looking for a big performance tonight to lead this Tigers forward pack over the advantage line. Try and create some space for this man, Benji Marshall.
That's what it's about, the big boys laying the platform for the magic of Marshall.
Very good player, Benji Marshall. We all admire his skills. You know, he's had some nice touches over the last couple of weeks, but I'd still like to see him grab that game by the scruff of the neck, unleash his running game. We don't probably see enough of that, but he's certainly a magician with the football in hand. He provides so many options for this West Tigers team. He's got a wonderful vision. He's got wonderful vision with the ball in hand. You know, he can play short, he can play inside, he can play out the back. One of the real exciting players of the competition, and this is the way South Sydney will line up as Johnny Lang addresses them in final instructions. Wesser, Merritt, young Dylan Farrell and Jamie Simpson are the new centre combination for the Rabbitohs. Talanoa is the other winger. Sutton and Sando are the halves. The forward pack, and it's been knocked around with injury, but this is the way they'll line up tonight. Lowe, Luke and Asatasi up front. Dave Tyrrell, Pettybourne and Jason Clark on the bench. And on the interchange, Crossman, Stapleton, McPherson and Corrigan.
10 first graders, not in the 17. Watching from the sideline tonight for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Time to step up for the halves, including their number 7, little Chrissy Sandow.
Well, he's produced some fine bits of play for South Sydney this year, Chrissy Sandow, and I'd love to see him do a little bit more of this, really running the football. But his main responsibility to this football team is to guide them around the paddock and come up with the right decisions at the right moments. And that's been an area of South Sydney's game which has let them down. You know, Sutton, Sando need to take more responsibility in regards to where the team is going, give them direction. It'll be a difficult night for them tonight, but there should be plenty of enthusiasm. There's an opportunity for some of these young South Sydney forwards to really make a name for themselves tonight.
Here come the Tigers. Let's go down to a former Tiger. Good evening, Scott Sattler.
Good evening, guys. Well, simply if South Sydney don't win here tonight, I don't think they make the finals. You know, they're a proud club, South. They always have been. But tonight, passion needs to shine through. So many injuries. One man needs to stand up, Jonathan Sutton. So his battle with Benji Marshall here tonight will be the highlight. Conditions down here, it's freezing. But good news is there's no rain. It's going to be dry. I think we're going to see a lot of points here tonight, fellas.
I should have bought my beanie for you, Sats. That keeps the melon warm on any night. Robbie Farah, 2010 stats. 3 tries, 12 try assists, 10 line break assists, and as damaging opposite side of the ruck as Benji Marshall.
Been in terrific form, Robbie Farrah. Controls a lot of the play for the West Tigers. Invariably, you see him a lot out at first or second receiver. Controls the kicking game for this West Tigers outfit and a constant threat out of dummy half.
One of 5 players to play every game so far this year for the Tigers. Little Robbie, as we await the arrival of South Sydney. Some would suggest often at their best when their back is to the wall. And that is the case here tonight on home soil, ANZ Stadium. A footy side that at the start of 2010 promised so much. Injury has hit them harder perhaps than any other club over the last 22 weeks. And as the run to the semi-final intensifies, they are down on troops, down a little on confidence, down a little on form, high on spirit. Isaac Luke, one of the many players that has spent a couple of weeks on the sideline, returned last start, Laurie, against the Bulldogs. Will be better for the run here tonight. They're going to need him to play 80 tonight.
You'd love a team of Isaac Luke's. Very tenacious, very competitive, always in the action. a threat out of dummy half. Got tremendous speed. He identifies markers when they haven't squared up. He identifies players when they've been lazy to get back into position. He's a real threat out of dummy half for the South Sydney team. And look for him tonight to try and inspire his football team. It's a big ask, but they are capable if they get it right.
Jared Maxwell in his 110th NRL game will be assisted tonight by Jason Robinson. Primarily the pocket referee tonight after not the greatest game last week. Here we go as Super Saturday continues live, and South Sydney couldn't have scripted a worse start out on the full.
Well, it's not the start you're looking for when you're down on troops, and the confidence may not be at its highest. And Chrissy Sandow kicking out on the full. Great opportunity for the West Tigers with their first set of 6 to go on the attack. He'd be disappointed with that. You need your senior players to lead from the front and minimise their mistakes. Let's hope that's the only mistake from him tonight.
So much pressure on Sandow. Sutton tonight. Marshall opts for the inside runner. It is big Keith Galloway inside the 30 on the first tackle of the game. Marshall plays inside again, this time to Liam Fulton, who scored a double last start against the Sharks at Leichhardt Oval. Bryce Gibbs, 11 metres out, centre field, and a penalty for the Tigers. Too long on the front rower, right in front. Now, decision time, to kick or to play.
Just got to play on. They're having a committee meeting out there at the moment. That gives South Sydney time to adjust their defensive line.
Gibbs comes off the left foot and runs into a 3-man tackle, headed by the 17 in Jason Clark. Good to see him get a run on start tonight as the Tigers go wide, and the Tigers go in. Blake Ashford scores after 90 seconds. It is Tigers 4, Rabbits 0.
A great set of 6 with the football by the West Tigers, and really it wasn't a set, it was a couple of tackles off the back of this mistake from the Rabbitohs halfback, and it was too easy, this, by the West Tigers. Benji Marshall just dumbing it and missing out the lead runner, Liam Fulton, into the back field, and Blake Ashford going over and scoring the first 4-pointer of the night. You just see them short for numbers there, South Sydney. And that's a tremendous start from the West Tigers. Not great goal line defence from South Sydney.
Benji Marshall, goal kicking has been an issue and spoken about in the last 3 weeks. From the least preferred side for a right foot kicker. Seems to have the ball a little flatter than he has in past weeks. He actually struck it well. The flags aren't going to go up, but he did strike that one better. 3 minutes down, 4 points to 0. Tigers over the Rabbitohs. This is how they did it.
Well, it's not a great start. It's not a great start from South Sydney, but it was a well-executed play by the West Tigers. I think it was Bo Ryan getting himself involved. I think it looks as though he is playing that fullback role, so he'll be the extra man chiming into that back line, with Latu playing on the wing.
If you're looking at form lines, all the money is on the Tigers. They've won 4 of their last 5. The Rabbitohs have lost 3 of their last 4. Farrah out of dummy half. Now it's Marshall. Ellis running back towards the ditch area just behind the markers. Made some good metres there. Heading towards halfway. There is no Todd Payton in the side tonight. As a result, Bryce Gibbs, who was initially going to play from the interchange, joins Keith Galloway in the run-on side again. Adds a little bit of size to the opening 20 minutes. Marshall taken very well, as a matter of fact, by Fatuli Talanoa.
Well, you mentioned Todd Payton, and I think he just gives the forwards from the West Tigers some creativity.
Yep.
A lot of them just you know, roll their sleeves up and get through over the advantage line. But Todd Pate got great skills for a big man. Can pass, can kick. And he provides something different.
Asatasi, the tower of power. Strolls past one. Raymond looking to back it up. Over halfway, good metres this set from the Rabbitohs as they now go to Sando. Punches it over the top. Bouncing a couple of times before it goes to Bo Ryan. Named in jersey 5, but Wade McKinnon was a late withdrawal. So as a result, Bo goes to fullback. Here is one of the wingers, Lottie Dakiri. The other winger, Sam Latu, who we'll tell you a little bit more about a little later on in the game. Robert Louis crabs across field. Here is Marshall. Latu has knocked it on.
South ball 0.
It's not the first touch Sammy wanted. The Rabbitohs looking to hit back here, trailing by 4. This is Dave Tyrrell inside the go zone. 17 metres out, Isaac Luke finds Roy Asatasi. Dummied to fellow front rower, Jamin Lowe, off his right hip, and Asatasi took the ball and tackle, took it to ground. Here's Sando. Playing out the back to Wesser, who knocks on. Sando kicks it back away from the gold jerseys of the Tigers. A sloppy start for both sides in the opening 6 minutes.
Yeah, but I've been really impressed with the way that Lawrence and Takiri have defended over the last couple of weeks. The West Tigers have been a side that like to slide, hold their line and use the sideline to their advantage and use it as an extra defender. But the last few weeks they've been prepared to actually jam up and in on the man receiving the football. They haven't been submissive at all with their defence. And I think if you can change it up and keep the opposition attack guessing on what you're going to do, it's a very good ploy.
That's been their key area of improvement as a club in general. Defence in 2010. Balls come free here. Keith Galloway's blowing up from his back.
He just landed nasty there, Keith Galloway, on his back, but then his head, the back of his head just jolted into the ground. Let's see here, they pick him up and they drive him back and his head just hits the ground.
Nothing nasty in it, is there?
That's just unfortunate.
Great tackle, Clark. Hit and drive.
Well, that's what you want. That's what you call a dominant tackle, in my eyes.
Junior Pearce, that is.
Yep.
Big Keithy, not sure if he's at ANZ Stadium or the ANZ Bank at the moment.
Just the way he landed, though, on that head, on his back, sorry, and then the head just slamming into the ground. He'll be all right, though. He's a tough cookie, Keith Galloway.
Oh, yeah.
Getting to his feet.
Southford.
Last couple of times they've had the football, though, they've been a little bit sloppy, the West Tigers. Although I wouldn't blame Keith Galloway for losing the football after that contact.
Okay, Galloway is going to come to the sideline. He's being assisted by Andrew Leeds there, if you recognise the face. Coming into the game, Simon Dwyer in 16. Great young talent, but probably untested early minute football. Youngster gets his opportunity tonight. Narrow victors, the Tigers last week over the Sharks, 24 points to 22. And the Rabbits have dropped it before tackle 1.
Well, that's a poor option by the Rabbitohs. The Tigers making a mistake and then turning it over on tackle 1. You can ill afford to give the football back when you're down on troops. You have to make everything count. You've got to get to your tackles. You've got to apply pressure at the end of your sets of 6. You have to hit with your shoulders in defence. You have to have a fast-moving, swarming defensive line. You need to be enthusiastic. You've got to show plenty of desire when you're undermanned.
5 metres from halfway. Farrell with that left boot. Straight to Reece Wesser. Wasn't a bad kick from Robbie, as a matter of fact, but Wesser at the back. He covered plenty of ground and did so very quickly to take that on the full.
Well, he's getting back to his best, and he's looking for a contract for 2011.
Yep, no certain future, no contract for Wesser, who tonight plays game 199. Plenty with Penrith. This is his 22nd for the Rabbitohs as his side get a penalty. A much-needed penalty.
A much-needed one. I think they were treated harshly here, the West Tigers. They're holding down. That was okay. They get off the tackle player, and Isaac Luke, well, he just loses the football and goes to the ground. That's a harsh penalty, but let's see what the Rabbitohs come up with in this set of 6.
Asatasi and Hyington. This is Asatasi now. Ellis, very strong. Almost a body lock there, chest on chest defensively. John Sutton looking for someone, stands, finds Simpson. And another penalty to the Rabbitohs, the Tigers inside the 10 metres. Well, Isaac Luke was looking for the quick one. And the window was open right under the posts there. Low. If he fell here, he would just about cross the line. A sloppy play the ball. Goes to Sando, who goes backwards, trying to create an overlap. He kicks through. And on tackle 1, it's quite a bold move.
Well, it's a confident move. And if the ball had stayed in the field of play and in the in-goal area, it may have produced a try. Nathan Merritt, a wonderful finisher. Unfortunately, the kick rolling over the sideline. Enterprising play.
Yep.
High risk, though.
Yeah.
It's high risk.
Low percentage footy. And considering their completion rate in the opening 10 minutes, I wonder if John Lang would have been happy just to sit out the set. Try and keep it in hand. Here's Hyington, pumping the legs. Almost a line break for CW Hyington. This is Marshall. Double pumps on the inside. Bo Ryan was taken before he got the football, and Benji Marshall has not moved.
I think Benji was taken out of play after he passed the football, playing back down through the middle. He was tackled without the football, Bo Ryan.
If Benji was taken here, we're going to see it here, he was taken very late.
Yeah, there was some contact there from Jamin Lowe. It's a penalty.
Well, it's a penalty anyway.
Okay. Well, exactly right.
For holding back Bo Ryan.
I don't think he'll be put on report or anything like that, Jamin Lowe.
Penalty is still going against you if they didn't already have it, okay?
You know, I know what he's trying to do. You're trying to tell the ball players they're in for a tough night if they want to come through the middle of the ruck. But unfortunately for Jamin Lowe, the timing wasn't correct.
Wait for the kick.
You can't go taking out players a couple of seconds after they've passed the football.
I'd be very surprised if the West Tigers forward pack didn't note down Jamin Lowe's number and look for a shot next time he brings the ball to the line.
A receipt?
The receipt. Love it. Here is Robert Louis grabbing the crossfield. The inside runner is Dwyer, and it almost appeared he'd been hit in the ankle by a sniper. Fell to the ground. Hyington, great tackle. And the ball has come free from Chris Hyington here. Real strength on that far side. Dylan Farrell, debutant in 20.
Well, there's some big raps on this young man. And from that tackle, you can see why. That's a classic tackle. Just going in around the waist, getting the legs together, picking and driving, and forcing the ball loose. Only 19 years of age.
Yeah, from down near Nowra, played junior Australian rep footy.
Stand up, okay? You've got to bend, you've got to bend.
South Brains Trust have got plenty of raps on him.
Get in, get your head in, Bryce.
Pull your head in, Bryce. I think was the message from the ref. Here is Sutton. Is John Sutton looking for Chris Sandow to be just a little more dominant tonight, a little bit more decisive, take a few of the kicks away from him and free up John in his decision-making?
Well, they have to share the responsibility. They have to share it. You know, they've got some threats out there, South Sydney. Isaac, Luke, Sandow, Johnny Sutton, but they need to get the ball in their hands at the right time. As Jamin Lowe carries the ball forward, there's Chrissy Hyington giving out that receipt we were talking about.
That's twice, mate, on the 10 metres. Okay, you're going
6 penalties in 12 minutes.
6 penalties. Ball control hasn't been great from either side. South Sydney through Asatasi carrying the ball forward. He needs a big game tonight, Roy Asatasi, and he needs to stay on the field for long minutes.
Well, he certainly started well with 5 hit-ups, 3 tackles already as the little number 7 almost got through the line and almost to the 10 metres. Wide to Sutton, a looping pass on to Tyrrell. Taken beautifully by Benji Marshall right into the hips with that left shoulder. Isaac Luke out of dummy half, finds Sandow. He goes wide. There was an opportunity for the Tigers. Losing his footing was Jason Clark. The outside to the debutant. And it is a night that Dylan Farrell will remember for the rest of his life. For all here at ANZ.
Well, this is a brilliant bit of work by the young 19-year-old centre. Just taking on Louis, showing great strength to just push away from the young halfback. Down a short side, just the way he carried the football. He looks a good prospect. Carrying it in the right arm, going down a short side, being prepared to back his strength. Slice in between Louis and Takiri. And that's a show of confidence by the young man. He'll always remember that first try.
One of the Culburrow Dolphins, the New South Wales South Coast. Has his opportunity with no Colin Best or Bo Champion here tonight. Joining Ben Lowe on the sidelines. In fact, the South Sydney dugout, almost a full-strength side.
There'll be plenty taken out of the salary cap with those players there. Nearly half your salary cap sitting there.
Sandow from right on the sideline, on the eastern side of ANZ. He's hit this nicely. In fact, he's hit it perfectly. 6-4. Rabbits over the Tigers, Scotty Sattler.
Well, great fight back there by the South Sydney Rabbitohs. On that, Dylan Farrell called a lot of his games in Toyota Cup, and he's a guy that plays a lot like the man, one of the centres he's replaced, Bo Champion. He's big, he's agile, he's strong with that fend, and that's what he's going to do all night. He's going to try and get on the outside of his centre opponent in Chris Lawrence.
There is Lawrence taking on Jamin Lowe along with Chris Hyington and Bryce Gibbs. The second tackle now for the Rabbitohs. Pettybourne. Now Asatasi. They went down to the Bulldogs, 32 points to 12. Round 21, a disappointing performance with so much to play for. Just inside the 40, the little number 7, and too much on it. Only just.
Oh, that's unfortunate for South Sydney. He got plenty on it.
Last tackle, yeah.
And just going over the sideline after points. Now they turn the football over.
Last one.
He hasn't gone into his shell at all, Chris Sandow. He's still trying to
On the red line, James.
lift his football team. Unfortunately, a couple of kicks tonight haven't paid off for him. But he's been willing to try something.
Hyington. Centre field, 37 metres out. Farah. Ellis beats the first line of defence, taken by Lowe in the second. Across the ruck, Robbie Farrah to Robert Louis. The 9 to the 7. Now 9 to 6 to Marshall. He heads back centre field looking for Bo Ryan. And to Louis. Across field. Chris Lawrence in control of the football. Just got on the outside of his opposing centre. Dylan Farrell, the try scorer. Here is Takiri, back to Louis, an awful pass. The number 7 did well. Steps, but still running backwards here. Lack of communication, perhaps, from the Tigers. Marshall's near side. Farah goes straight, flicks it back up to Louis. Benji, and knocked on.
Well, I don't think they knew what they were doing in that set of 6, the West Tigers. That was off-the-cuff football. And they paid the ultimate price by turning the football over. They have to show respect to this South Sydney team. Even though they've got plenty of players missing and plenty of big-name players, the players that have been given an opportunity will perform. They'll have a go.
Again, the defence up right in the face of Jamin Lowe in particular. Playing up over the 40-metre line. They have scored more tries than any other football side this year, the Rabbitohs, with 84. They're ranked second in line breaks and second in run metres. They do have the points in them. Do they have the confidence after what's been a pretty lean couple of weeks? Oh, Ryan, nicely to Sammy Latu.
I've seen this kid somewhere before.
Sammy who, you may say?
Yeah.
Sammy Hui-Haha. Formerly of South Sydney, formerly of the Canberra Raiders, Sam Hui-Haha became Sam Latu when he took the surname of the family that adopted him. A lovely story. Tonight he plays against the club where it all started. Here's Marshall. Ryan dummies. Nice little flick there. A dangerous one. So to Marshall, to Ashford. Oh, they may not always be technically perfect, but gee, they're entertaining. Now to Robbie Farrah. Downfield. Finds a bit of space between, and Wesser goes straight to Nathan Merritt, who was another player in doubt here tonight. There were question marks over best, champion and low. None of them are playing. We understand there was also a pretty big question mark over Nathan Merritt. I guess Nathan keen to get into 3 figures as far as his try-scoring feats are concerned. He's stuck on 98 at the moment. Asitasi and Ellis. Almost right on halfway as Isaac Luke goes to Chris Sando. A hard running back row already, Pettybourne tonight in 12. Up goes Sando, trying to put a bit of spin on it. It's a floater. And Bo Ryan, a huge mistake at the back. And here come the Rabbitohs one more time. Ryan playing fullback. There is no Wade McKinnon tonight. Sandow, he goes to Pettybourne. Tackle number 1. Tigers on their heels. Jamin Lowe just settling things down in the middle of the park. They're looking to play left. And a bit of push and shove. Jamin Lowe in the middle.
2 in a row against you. Hang on. Hand on the ball over there, then you crown it all over it here.
See Keith Galloway back on the field. Cobweb's gone. Low under the weight of 3. Gareth Ellis has come away sore from this one. He's forced into effort on effort here, trying to stop Asitasi. In fact, he's one of 4 Tigers involved in the tackle. The fact there's 4 means they're thin elsewhere, and that's where Souths look as Pettybourne drops the ball.
The forwards are rolling their sleeves up, South Sydney. They're running with plenty of energy. They're prepared for plenty of collision. Unfortunately, just going too close to the line here. Couldn't control the football on contact, Eddie Pettyborn. And the Tigers' defence was put under pressure. They handled it. But it's what they're doing with the football. In the last 2 sets of 6, they have had no structure whatsoever. They've turned it over. And South Sydney are going all right at this stage.
As the Tigers work it out from their own end, let's head down to the sideline with Scott Sattler.
Well, Andy, you mentioned Keith Galloway coming back on the field as we see a penalty, a get-out-of-jail penalty here for the Tigers. It's a big effort for him to be back on the field and marched 10 metres. Galloway speaking to the medical staff, they didn't expect him to come back on. They thought he's very grey, very hazy, couldn't remember much about the start of the game. So for him to be out there, to give them some more grunt and direction up the middle, because at the moment there's a lot of ball movement and not a lot of players willing to put that ball under the arm.
4 penalties apiece, and Jamin Lowe's been in the middle of it from the opening couple of minutes. A mid-season purchase, team up with brother Ben at Redfern. Here's Galloway. Runs to Clark and also Luke. Big Jamin finds his way into the tackle as well. 17 tackles for Jamin Lowe already, plus 6 hit-ups. It's a massive 23 minutes. Farrah. Over the line and the Tigers lead. When things aren't working as well as you'd like, I guess, Laurie, you simplify, and it doesn't get any more simple than what Robbie Farah's just produced.
We've got 2 great number 9s on display here, and Robbie Farah just picking the football up and getting between defenders. And Pettyborn was just slow to react. He was waiting. He should have been applying pressure to Robbie Farah. He had the perfect opportunity to do it because he was defending on his inside. There was no option on the inside for Robbie Farah. Therefore, you can come out of the line and place him under pressure and make that tackle. But because he hesitated and the line didn't push forward, he had enough speed and strength to crash over himself.
Benji Marshall, he's kicked 4 from his last 15. They might holler at him if he misses this one. No problems for our man Benz. Tigers lead, back in control. Robbie Farah, the second of their try scorers tonight, 10 points to 6.
Did you see how he played negative at marker there, Eddie Pettyborn? He needed to be pushing forward and making the tackle there on Robbie Farah. There was no threat on the inside when Farah had the football. So as a marker, he needed to really attack him.
Plenty of power back from Andrew Fafita. And near the 20, as Garrett Crossman comes on to replace big Jamin Lowe, who is in the middle of it. Muscled up, antagonised a bit, but got through some great numbers, it's got to be said. Marshall plays short here. He did so to Galloway. Looked to play a little deeper to his halfback. There's by Ryan. Both thankful that last knock on didn't result in points.
Go!
Aceman. Fulton. His support had overrun him on the inside. As a result, he takes it to ground under the weight of what was a good tackle from Fatuli Talanoa.
Well, it was good play from both sides. The West Tigers trying to run the football on last play. But this left edge defence, Talanoa and Jamie Simpson, they trusted one another. Talanoa stayed out because of Jamie Simpson. Simpson communicated, told him to stay out. I've got Ashford. He grabbed him by the jersey, and the players got back there to help out. They snuffed it out. And when you're desperate, that's how you have to defend. You have to have trust. And when your line's broken, you have to have players willing to get back there as quickly as possible to jump on the support runners. Isaac Luke out of dummy half, looking for the 40-20.
Bounces the wrong way and safely into the arms of Bo Ryan on the second bounce. Looked at Lottie Takiri as an option. Stepped off the left and went himself. This is to Keary, flings it back. Now Farah again. Just over halfway, Andrew Fafita. Tackle number 4 it is. Robbie Farah goes to the boot. Catches Wesser out of position. Back it goes to Nathan Merritt in goal. He finds the fullback who looks to straighten. Wasn't a bad chase from the Tigers too. It may not have been a quick one, but they came down in a united line.
Well, it needs to be. When you've got a back three that are willing to go to the centre of the field and maybe link up and pass, if you haven't got a chase right across the paddock, a pass with someone hitting the football, they can find you out. This is good meters from South Sydney. Just simple play, running out of dummy half, outside men getting involved. Isaac Luke picks up another 12 metres, 5th tackle.
For South Sydney, 5 of their last 6 matches decided by 10 points or less. They've only won 2 of them though, as Bo Ryan takes an awkward bomb. Lawrence. Bit of an arm wrestle developing here since the Robbie Farah try. Now to Marshall, and again electing Galloway as the lead runner, and why not when you're making meters like that? Craig Stapleton involved in the tackle. That's him in jersey number 15, another mid-season purchase. Test for Wesser, who was nowhere near the football but was still taken out.
3 penalties there.
He had eyes only for the football then.
Yeah, got him without falling, you're in front of the kicker.
He didn't even look at the football. He just came through, eyes only for Wesser. You have to be careful doing this.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
There was no hope there.
And no hope of convincing either. Chris Hyington pleading that I was going for the ball. It was a guilty face.
Thanks, mate.
He plays with plenty of energy. Chris Hyington being one of the Tigers' best this season.
Has been for a number of seasons, Laurie.
Yes.
Very consistent performer. Good stats man and offers plenty of muscle in that back row. Crossman, slow to his feet, perhaps injured, as they play back to Dave Tyrrell. Robbie Farrell buckled over backwards there, out of the tackle, as Isaac Luke goes to Jason Clark, who showed remarkable hands in controlling the Steeden there when it appeared almost certain it was going to the ground. Sutton to Wesser. Last tackle now. John Sutton is in position on this near side of the field, but Chris Sando, he takes control. Bo Ryan, very patient at the back, very calculated. Made the right decision in letting the ball go over the dead ball line. And a free 20 metres, and Liam Fulton very quick with the tap and didn't have to do much to advance the footy 6 or 7 himself. Sam Latu has beaten a couple. That's him in jersey 20, named at fullback, playing on this right wing outside of Blake Ashford. Here's the left wing chiming in, Lottie Dakiri. Farah, Louis, Lawrence, trying to put that left foot step on, then accelerate. Taken nicely by Merritt. And Dylan Farrell was there as well. Playing the running option this time, Robbie Farah. Taken by Merritt. Awkward release there from Lawrence, but the Rabbitohs have knocked it on. In fact, penalty Tigers.
We're saying offside. Offside with the West Tigers. Bringing the ball 80 metres down the field. We'll see what happens here in this tackle. Lawrence is held. What he's saying there is it came off Merritt was the first touch into Crossman, back into Merritt.
All good, mate. Hold here.
Here they come, Robbie Farrah to Robert Louis. Galloway on late notice took the ball from the half-back there. Centre field, 11 metres out. Farrah dummies inside, goes outside. Going the inside line was Chris Hyington. He offloaded the ball to Bo Ryan. The fullback perfectly positioned following the footy around. Hyington again. To within a metre. Farrell, Grubbers, taken by Merritt. And he forces a line dropout.
Hey, go and get it.
Robbie Farrah.
He's always a danger in this position, Robbie Farrah. His left foot kicking game. He entices the line to move forward, but it was great work there by Nathan Merritt. Just not moving forward, holding his depth a little bit.
Family link here, Loz. Robbie's brother Eddie is the South's physio. So I wonder how much family communication there has been over the course of the last couple of days with the big head-to-head, and it is a great head-to-head, even though it's just the 16th time as these entities they've met. And you think Tigers and Rabbits, it's a grand old battle. Last time they met, it was a grand day at the SCG, 50 points to 10 for the Rabbitohs, and many asking questions about the Tigers. Not so tonight so far, as Andrew Fafita continues his good form, bumps a couple off and takes the Tigers to the go zone. Farah, Marshall, Louis, the halfback, third receiver out to Chris Lawrence. Good one-on-one tackle there. Nathan Merritt as Lottie Takiri goes to the line, and Lottie Takiri scores.
Well, that's the second time tonight the goal line defence from the South Sydney team hasn't been alert. Robbie Farrah out of dummy half scoring, and now Lottie Takiri. You just can't afford to give up tries like this when you're defending your goal line. Once again, slow to react at marker. Nathan Merritt down on his haunches. Eddie Pettyborn going too far across, and then Takiri stepping back on the inside of he and Merritt.
4 tries in his last 3 games coming into tonight, so make it 5 in his last 4 now, and 14 for the season. We said this 7 days ago, but hasn't Lottie Takiri, returning from that other game, exceeded expectation?
Well, he's been very good.
Yep.
14th try, sorry, for the season in 20 games.
You might end up with 20 the way he's going. Marshall. Better from Benji. 16 points to 6, 5 minutes left in the opening half, and all the stats pointing towards the Tigers.
Well, you just see there Eddie Pettyborn just not being tight enough. And when you move from marker, if you're a second marker, you have to cover the inside. He got on the outside of Lottie Takiri, which allowed Takiri to step back and go inside he and Nathan Merritt. So the attention to detail when you're fatigued needs to be spot on in those positions. So important when you're defending your goal line.
You know how you tell me a lot of the time, Laurie, I've got far too much time on my hands and I think about silly things?
Yep.
Well, going one worse than me is our statistician, Malcolm Middleton, who's come up with this one. The last time Lottie Takiri scored against the Sharks was round 8, 2002. That is a beauty. 8 years ago. Against South, not the Sharks, should I say? Thinking about last week. Marshall. Awkward bomb here. It's a shallow one and a test for Talanoa. He knocks on 6 again here. Robbie Farrah. Out to Benji Marshall. A little grubber. Never going to die wondering, are they?
Again, I mean, it's great show of faith in your ability, but did they really need to do this, the West Tigers? You know, Robbie Farrah getting the football, finding Benji Marshall. Now, Marshall, trying to score from that angle when you're grubbering, it's a high-risk play. The safer option and the better option is to come back in field. Take the tackle if you have to. When those things come off, we'll rave about the brilliance, but it's about thinking and taking, weighing it up, risk versus reward.
Pettybourne with a power run. Taken by Lawrence. He's had a busy first half. Ed Pettybourne, 7 runs, 11 tackles. Jamin Lowe and Isaac Luke have been the absolute standouts. Nice take there by Sammy Latu in 20. 2.5 minutes remaining in the half. 10-point difference. Does that about sum up the difference between the two sides in your eyes?
Well, there hasn't been a great deal of difference between the two sides, has there?
No.
Well, they've scored 2 tries from dummy halves. South Sydney have had some ball down in the 20-metre zone of the West Tigers. Some of their options haven't been great. Neither has the Tigers, but the Tigers look the more capable of scoring.
Look at that! Some Marshall magic. Now he claps it on. Reeled in by Simpson and also Wesser. Fulton to Laurie. Playing to Robbie Farrell. Looking for an inside runner. Finds it in the form of Hyington. Gets out of the tackle. Hyington still going. To within 6 or 7 metres. What a finish to the half this would be. Tackle 5. Farah over the top to Takiri. He puts it forward. Wesser takes it. And is driven back in goal, but conceding the penalty, the Tigers.
Great work, Reece Wesser. It was a good kick from Roddy Takiri.
Going on with the tackle.
Well, he's saying that the tackle was complete. Look at this from Benji Marshall. This is what makes him so special. Players react when they watch the football. They need to watch the body of Benji Marshall. Takiri putting the kick through. Wesser coming from nowhere. Making the tackle there.
Well, a couple of opportunities for the Tigers in the last 5 minutes of the opening half. Strip there. Penalty count 7-5. In half a game of footy. And we're looking for a football now.
I think South Sydney were complaining that it was thrown away by big Keithy Galloway. 22 seconds to go before half-time. Can South Sydney produce a bit of magic? Can they get some more points? Probably only have 2 plays here.
Settling things down, but doing it with some muscle is journeyman Craig Stapleton. Sando, now to Sutton. Merritt from the right wing chimes in on this left-hand side of the field. The siren has sounded. And after 40 minutes, it is the Tigers 16, Rusty's Rabbits 6, as the away side. Tigers make their way back onto the footy field. Robbie Farrell leading them out, has had a great game. As we head down to the sideline with Scott. Scotty's still in getting messages from what was said from the 2 coaches. We'll go to him shortly. Keith Galloway knocked early, back onto the field. And here come the Rabbitohs. Some further injury concerns, we understand, in the opening half for the home side, who have won just 8 of their last 23 here at ANZ. Fans old and new have come to see them do a number on the Tigers. Can they turn it around in this final 40? 3 tries to 1. John Sutton just copped a knock in the opening half and is battling on and doing so in quite some discomfort. And it is up to Sutton and this man, Chris Sando, to guide the Rabbitohs around. $10 points the difference as we get ready for second half action. No real breeze to speak of here at the former Olympic venue. And we are underway. Rabbitohs left to right for the final 40 minutes. Here is Garrett Crossman putting the left shoulder into centre. Chris Lawrence bringing the ball back and doing so over the 20-metre line. Oh, a petty ball. Almost trampled Farrah, was stopped by Hyington. Craig Stapleton takes 3 to try and get him to ground. They finally do. Roll him onto the back to slow the ball down. Sutton off the left boot. Inside the 40. Looking for the sideline. Bo Ryan spits it back in field, and Fatuli Talanoa says, thank you.
We're going 6 again. I'm okay with the grounding. We're having a look at the touchline down here.
They want to have a look to see whether the ball had actually gone over the sideline, but Bo Ryan trying to knock the ball back into the field of play, knowing that no one was back there to support him. A great kick from Johnny Sutton. And what about the aggressive running from South Sydney in their first set? That's what they need to do more of. They can bend this West Tigers defensive line if they're prepared to run hard. He's definitely inside the 40-metre line. And Bo Ryan getting on his bike now, trying to get across there. Bo Ryan to be hoping that this ball has gone over the sideline.
Desperately hoping that it's a 40-20. Slow to get to the ball initially, then realised. That's a try assist for Bo Ryan there.
Not a great way to start for the West Tigers, but just what you're looking for if you're John Ling. Talanoa.
What about the cheeky smile from Fatuli?
He knows where the camera is.
The most amazing try we've seen this year, but for all the wrong reasons if you're a Tigers fan. Matty Bowen last night produced something magical to stop a 40-20. This is what can go wrong.
Well, kicking early in the tackle count. It was a magic kick from Johnny Sutton. And Bo Ryan getting across there. You know, Talanoa, there he is. Just looking at the camera. I think they're looking stunned there, the West Tigers. They know that shouldn't have happened. Let's see whether they can keep their composure and get back into the groove and not think about that 4-pointer.
Big kick. Chris Sando. We saw him strike his first beautifully earlier tonight, and he has hit this as sweet as possible. 16 points to 12 in favour of the Tigers. Bo Ryan, the mistake of all mistakes, unfortunately, doesn't deserve it. Is a very consistent performer for this footy club. Normally on the wing, tonight at fullback. And will be desperate to make amends. Here is Crossman again, favouring that left shoulder. On impact, he offloads to Robert Louis and almost went down for a try assist himself. What's happening? What was said at half-time? Galloway, as the Tigers look to hit right back. Brushes off 2, 3, beats Wesser a 4th, still going Chris Hyington, and on his knees is secured 5 metres from the try line. Farah Back to Lawrence. It's opened up, and Chris Lawrence will better the position, and he scores the Tigers 4.
Well, I'm shaking my head because I thought the first 4-pointer of the second half was an easy one. But after points, Garrett Crossman, you know, Robert Louis was around him. He didn't see him, obviously, otherwise he wouldn't have passed the football. But back through the middle, it just opened up like the heads. And Chris Lawrence, with his speed and his strength to push through the tackle from Isaac Luke. It was always going to be a difficult tackle for Isaac Luke, but really he shouldn't have had that much space to work in.
12th try for the season for Chris Lawrence, and no one would be happier than Bo Ryan, the fullback for the Tigers. Marshall 2 from 3 tonight. Make it 3 from 4 as we go down to the sideline with Scott.
Well, guys, the message from John Lang in the dressing sheds at half-time was get more urgency through their runs through the middle of the ruck. Keep pushing through the middle of the ruck. They did that in that first set of 6 through Eddie Pettyborn and getting that try to Bo Ryan. But he'd be absolutely livid with the urgency with his men in the middle around the ruck and that ease of that try. That's 3 tries now around the play of the ball. It's an area that he takes great pride in, John Lang, to tightening up and winning.
Okay, we're back to where we started the second half, a 10-point differential. 2 tries in the opening 4.5 minutes. And 2 of the weirder ones you will see. There's Galloway. Stapleton, Crossman. There is Sheen, Simmons and Cumney, the brains trust from the West Tigers. They're enjoying what they're seeing from this man tonight. Again, Chris Hyington, a dozen hit-ups. 21 tackles already. Almost to halfway through Gareth Ellis. Now to Robbie Farrah. Dummies to kick. Passes. Goes to Marshall and he kicks. Bounce one. It is taken by Wesser. Grabs across field, trying to get on the outside of Chris Lawrence. He muscles up on the veteran.
In their first set of 6, the instructions for John Green, the Sats has told us, was to run hard and gain momentum. Now that something's gone against them, will they remember the instructions from the coach? Or will they go away from the game plan and try and search for points? 10 points behind. But it's always difficult when you start getting behind and you're watching the scoreboard, seeing the clock ticking down, knowing that you're playing for your season, you need points, and you're doing things which you haven't practiced for.
Still the last tackle wasn't well, the call has changed. Yes, it was played out. A late one there from our head referee, Simpson. He's been kept relatively quiet tonight. In fact, so too have many of the South's fringe footballers. Simpson on that side of the field and Farrell on this side. Sando beats a couple. And penalty. Shepherd. Wasn't sure if he was getting up and running with the football, but he's got him for an old-fashioned shepherd.
Yeah, they've been harsh on this type of movement this season, running around Wesser there. Lawrence came in. He's not happy with it. Chris Sando. But it was the right call.
Yep, I agree. Johnny Lane. Not his ideal Saturday night. Not as relaxing as he has had. An amazing stat in regards to Tim Sheen's coached footy sides versus John Lane coached footy sides. John has won the last 16 straight head-to-head against Tim Sheen's. Ryan.
And neither coach would be worried about that statistic.
No. Ashford collected the first of the night in second minute. Double spread, very fast. Farah to Louis. Taken nicely by Farrell. Held on to that boot. As Farrah goes across field, looking for Benji Marshall. Keith Galloway puts it on his legs as Big Red scored here.
A bit of everything in that.
Well have.
There's great communication there between Marshall and Farrah. Farrah going around to the short side. Got a left foot kick, and it was intended to go to the post because he and Marshall had communicated and indicated that that's where they wanted the kick to go. And Marshall was chasing through. He's onside. Now they go up and contest for the football. Does Marshall knock the ball forward? Does he knock it backwards? I would think that'd go backwards onto the feet of Keith Galloway. And then Galloway gets to the football and grounds it.
He's a mad English Premier League fan, Keith Galloway. And he has shown silky skills here with the boot.
Oh, that's great.
And just far more urgency than the players around him to get to the football.
Well, that's a knockback. That's knocked backwards from Benji. And Galloway, great skills with his feet. Here we go again. I think it's knocked backwards. Out of his arms. Are they saying it touched a South Sydney player after it touched Benji Marshall? And the initial touch was going forward. I would give it a try.
Try for you.
Try for me.
Steve Clark's the video ref tonight. It's his decision that counts. And that's the Tigers' fifth. Big Keith Galloway, his first try since round 4 last year.
Under the post, it makes it a lot easier for Benji to keep taking this scoreline up in 6s rather than 4s. And if you're a West Tigers player, I'm sure you're remembering round 10 when they took on South Sydney.
Yep.
And they were smashed, they were hammered.
50-10.
And they are now setting themselves up to reverse that scoreline.
So down to the sideline with Scott.
Well, guys, a message from Tim Sheens at halftime. They went in with a game plan, stick to the game plan. We're starting to see that Tigers side, bodies in motion, plenty of numbers getting around the defensive lapses of the South Sydney defensive side. Now, Keithy Galloway, great presence of mind to toe that forward, but I want to know, Andy, will he remember it after the game? Because he can't remember much more.
Yeah, got knocked out early in the game and spent some time back in the dressing room and was advised not to go back into action. We'll be glad he did. Here is Bryce Gibbs up over the 20. And another good strong run from Bryce tonight, along with Galloway leading the charges tonight. In fact, a pretty even distributional workload once again for the Tigers. This man always effective in what he does. Gareth Ellis. Farrah almost through the gap, trying to charge an opposing 9 Isaac Luke there. Sean Corrigan in 19, the defensive line there. Great to see Sean back. This is an awkward bomb, this one. Allowed to bounce. Takiri has it. He flicks it out the back to Bryce Gibbs. And Gibbs has knocked it on.
For Bryce.
To the
10 metres here, boys.
20 metres there, the Tigers.
10 metres.
It was a
From
good
where
bomb.
the ball bounced.
It was a great bomb from Benji Marshall. It was swirling around. It was a spiral bomb. No one made a play at it. They're saying Bryce Gibbs knocked it on there. I thought Nathan Merritt may have knocked it
Back, yeah.
back, yeah. But anyway, play on. South Sydney, they need the football. They need their big men rolling forward, trying to get a quick play the ball, trying to get Isaac Luke involved in the game. He's been well contained because they haven't really established a good platform for him to get out of there.
Up into the 30-metre line or thereabouts. Big win tonight. And they do need a big win in regards to points for and against, because they came into tonight not with the greatest for and against.
There was good reaction there by Chrissy Lawrence. Just pushed forward in the defensive line, and then when he realised Sutton had changed his mind, rather than a crossfield kick, just place it low and to the sticks for Sando to chase through. His reaction
Okay, time to run.
to get out of that defensive line, cover in behind,
10 seconds, mate, let's go.
and knock the ball dead. Saved his team a 4-pointer, so that's great urgency.
Was a for and against a just +2 coming into the weekend. The Titans won last night, so they move into 4th. The Tigers into 5th. So if any side was desperate to really go on and record a big win, it would be this mob. Because that's what it could come down to. Top 4 and top 8 positions.
Well, every point is so vital in the remaining rounds.
Sutton dummies across field, taken a vertical lock there from Keith Galloway. Bryce Gibbs assisting in the tackle. Playing back to Sando, pops it through, and that is just beautiful. Just beautiful from the debutant Dylan Farrell, who collects a double here tonight.
It was great work from South Sydney. They identified Lawrence and Takiri getting up in defence, and there was space in behind. And Takiri, he was just slow to react. Farrell was the more desperate of the two to get on the football. Lovely kick there by Sando. You can just see Lottie, I don't think he realised that Farrell was coming through.
What about the hands?
He looks very impressive. Sats told us he's been very impressed with him in Toyota Cup.
Underneath, 18 player for New South Wales last year, has scored 26 tries in NYC over the last 3 years.
He's a fair lump of a lad too, isn't he?
188 centimetres, 100 kilos.
Just by looking at him, or do you know that? Just by looking at him?
By looking at him, I was a couple of kilos out. Is there such a thing as a small young centre these days? They're all triple figures or thereabouts on the scales.
Well, it puts South Sydney back in the game.
You bet.
You're fighting for your season. You need to fight for everything. It looked as though they were gone, and now they've given themselves a chance, and Sando has slotted it on the sideline.
Back to a 10-point game. 28-18 in favour of the Tigers. What a great night. A memorable night for Dylan Farrell. Double on debut. He scored 2 of the 3 tries.
One-handed pick up. Great skills, great composure. Well done.
So they're not gone yet, the Rabbitohs. All the stats suggest that the Tigers should be winning this, and comfortably, but they just can't put them away, and still with plenty of time remaining. Asatasi follows the lead set by Pettybourne this set.
That's better. Bend them back.
Mid-count. Who isn't playing for South Sydney tonight as Sutton puts boot to ball? Luke Stewart, Beau Falloon, Sam Burgess, Dave Taylor, Michael Crocker, Ben Lowe, Scott Geddes, Ben Ross, Colin Best, Beau Champion. It is a huge list. Tigers through Ashford. Good run from Young Blake, the right centre, up to the 40 metre, stole a couple of valuable metres there, as does Galloway and Farah from dummy half. Tackle number 4, look to try and catch Wesser out of position. Rarely do you catch a veteran like Reece Wesser though, and on the first bounce he took it and brought it back to the 20-metre line. Here is Sean Corrigan. Great to see him back in action. Broke his leg round 4 last year. after debuting just a month earlier. A horrible break it was too, and it's been a long, long road back for the young number 18 in South's jersey tonight. Now that was an ugly looking tackle. Souths fans, they let their feelings known. Referee not putting the whistle to his mouth. Halfback makes Bo Ryan do a little bit of work.
They've got plenty of energy, sorry, Andy, the South Sydney team. The last set of 6, they were pushing forward. They'll need to do that again here. And they just don't want to allow easy meters for the West Tigers to make coming out of their own red zone. That was a good run there by Latu.
Craig Stapleton has impressed me in 15 off the bench for South Sydney.
He worked that well. He worked that well there, Robbie Farrah. He's so good at doing it, the dummy halves. Fast play the ball, and if you haven't dominated at the tackle and you're not square at marker, you can see him there just not being square, off to the side, and Farrah just playing straight at him.
Straight at him and into him. Didn't even give Sean Corrigan the opportunity at pulling out there as Dave Tyrrell looks to get back into the game under the instructions of John Lane. Looking for a little energy out there, the hard-running back rower. There's Liam Fulton. Runs into Corrigan and also Sutton. Farrell goes short side. Rose pops his head through the line. Good front-on defence by Jamie Simpson, assisted there by Stapleton on the 10-metre line. The hooker plays it. It goes back to Louis. Inside runner is Fafita in his 15th game for the season. Louis again. Crossfield to Marshall. To Lawrence, who was hit big time. And the referee has called for a replay of this because Chris Lawrence has not moved a bit.
It was well read by Nathan Merritt. He jammed in and got him an absolute cracker. Ooh, it may have been a bit high. I thought it was lovely contact. The initial contact I thought was okay. And I thought it was just Lawrence, the way that he hit the ground, but he certainly jumped in the air, Nathan Merritt.
And the boys are a little restless. Isaac Luke, he'll put his gloves up to anyone in a gold jersey. He's a sick boy, Chris Lawrence, and this is an issue.
Take a breath, mate.
Okay, having another look at this.
I think he's got him in this. I think he has got him in the head with his shoulder.
I think it's more than the shoulder, I hate to say, Loz.
He's up in the air.
I think the forearm could well and truly be right across the mush.
I understand what.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Souths fans are coming up with the Lang Park chant, if you want.
High shot. All we'll do with the captains just to settle everything down without that banner and select them away.
They're not happy with Chris Lawrence. They think he's might be playing a little bit here, but that could not be further from the truth.
No, he's not playing.
So it's
you can tell.
Yes.
He's not.
I'll have no vision, I'll be able to.
Great.
I'll have
And
no
all
vision,
Chris Lawrence.
It's high. Look where the left arm of Nathan Merritt ends up. Around the neck. So you've got to suggest the front of the arm, the upper arm.
No use debating what's just happened. Okay, it's on report. Now, Robbie. Well done. Well, the push and shove and all that was going on after that high shot. Let's just cut that out of the game now, okay? You've had your fun. We're going to get on the footy. Want a penalty here to the Tigers? Over here.
Mitch Brown onto the footy field. Nathan Merritt on report. And Robbie Farrah electing to take the kick for goal here to get it out to 12 points.
Well, I don't know where this decision is coming from, because 10 out to 12, I don't think it makes a great deal of difference, as Chris Lawrence is walking, assisted by the trainers, back to the dressing sheds. But look, they could have extended the lead here by another 6 points.
Are they trying to avoid the silly stuff? Is the theory here they're just trying to let everyone cool down?
No. Oh, well.
And they don't want to get bashed defensively?
I thought that'd be the case, but Benji Marshall kicking it. He's striking them beautifully tonight, Benji.
He is hitting them well as we go sideline with Scott.
Well, Andy and Loz, there's going to be, this next 20 minutes is going to be very interesting physically. There's a lot of unrest between the two number 9s, Isaac Luke and Robbie Farrah. I'm probably going to be in the minority here, but I think Nathan Merritt was a great read, good contact. I thought it was a legitimate tackle.
I'm on here.
You're in the minority up here, Scotty, I'll tell you. Here we go. It's going to be Andrew Fafita to take the ball forward, and he will love this. Down low, Asatasi. Also involved in the tackle, Dave Tyrrell, unmistakable. Isaac Luke and Robbie Farrah come together here. Keep an eye on those two. Isaac Luke almost goes in for the hips there, shoots in on the hips. Sam Latu. Byington got the ball, the inside angle, did so from Robert Louis. Here is Ryan, one-on-one with Pettybourne. And the 5th tackle, a gain of 41 metres for the Tigers. Marshall goes downfield. Good kick and good bounce. Good bounce for the Rabbits, that is. Talanoa found Wesser. He found the 10-metre line before running into the gold jerseys. Merritt, placed on report just minutes ago. Wesser. We'll feel that from Andrew Fafita and Chris Hyington. Pettybourne now up over the 30-metre line. 12 wins, 7 losses, the Tigers so far this year. Is that ball forward? Not called. Back to Sutton it goes. He goes long too. Ryan takes it nicely from behind.
Well, that was an interesting set there by the South Sydney team. They just prepared to go forward. They didn't have any real shape and threat on either side of the ruck. I probably believe there's still plenty of time left in this game. You're not going to panic at this stage. They certainly have to make the West Tigers think a little bit more when they're defending.
Marshall pumps it over the top. Does he get the bounce? Yes, he does. Here's Benji Marshall. Flicks it back on the inside. And knock-on has been ruled. Oh, the chip and regather and flick back.
He does it so well, Benji. Just over the top. There was plenty of space in behind. Reece Wesser was playing deep and then went for the fancy play.
Knocked on by Mitch Brown.
And again, you just have to ask. I know, you know, Benji, I love him as a player, but did he really need to do that?
He'd done enough, hadn't he? Take it down.
You know, you get tackled there, quick play the ball, maybe score, and then you put South Sydney out of the game. Instead, they're still hanging around there. They're still hanging around 12 points behind. Get the football back.
15 penalties so far, and Souths fans want one more. They are standing on their seats, trying to convince the referee that the Tigers are inside the 10 metres. Sutton. Crossfield to Asatasi, taken by Fulton. Over the top as Gibbs, and Robbie Farrell was around the hips. Crossfield and an awkward kick. Oh! Lottie Jakiri and Bo Ryan. A nightmare at the back. No Tim Moulson at fullback, so as a result, the Tigers side Wade McKinnon. He's not there tonight, and it's Bo Ryan. And it's not working at the moment.
A lack of communication. A lack of communication, but we get back to that flick pass from Benji down the other end of the field. South Sydney get an opportunity to work the play up the field, put a kick in, something happens for them, and now the Tigers, they're under pressure. They need to be strong in this set of 6. If South Sydney can score here, we will have a grandstand finish.
2 converted tries in this game, 38-18. 16 minutes remain. Hope you're enjoying on Fox Sports. If you're watching us live, after us, the Cronulla Sharks and the Warriors. Live from Toyota Stadium. Low. Huge dummy from the front rower. Send out to Wesser, and Wesser. He goes straight through in game 199, and here come the Bunnies.
And they will have plenty of energy. This South Sydney team, a lack of communication and a lack of urgency to get on the football. And here, just a bad read between Louis and Ashford, both wondering what one another were going to do. They weren't being dominant in what they were about to do. They were hesitant, and Wesser just hit the hole, going through to score, and now the Tigers have put themselves under pressure again. They haven't treated South Sydney with the respect that they deserve.
Yep.
And they thought it was just going to be a cakewalk, going to be easy. We've extended the lead by 10, out to 16 there at one stage. Everything's rosy. We'll have a bit of a training run here. You cannot do that in the NRL.
Up go the flags. A converted try, the difference. And we are set for a thrilling final 14 minutes. Reece Wesser gets them back closer and gets closer to securing a contract for 2011 and beyond. And no one could be happier than that man. As Rabbitohs they get. Benji Marshall restarts, looking for the sideline, and he finds it.
Some of the things I've seen tonight.
They will last in our memory a lifetime, but for all the wrong reasons.
Like, you've just scored points, and a kickoff goes over the sideline.
Oh, we got a cameraman down too.
There was a horrible kick from Benji.
Bring it up, boys. Robbie, drag him in for me. Head down.
Robbie Farrah moving to lock here. Something on from the scrum base. No, Laurie takes it to Marshall. Across field. Here we go. Benji Marshall to Bo Ryan. And Bo Ryan bungled into touch and easily. He has had a nightmare night.
Well, they love to put on set plays from scrums, the West Tigers. Benji drifting across the paddock, and Bo Ryan just getting held up in the tackle. And there was plenty of movement there. Jamie Simpson and Talanoa, they throw Bo Ryan over the sideline. And again, you have to ask yourself the question, if you're switched on mentally, do you allow the opposition to throw you over the sideline?
Yeah.
You know, they're still showing signs to me that they think they're just going to win this game. Even with 13 minutes to go, they think they're in control.
Asatasi. 14 hit-ups, a dozen tackles for the South Sydney captain tonight. A great knock. Sando goes back to the number 7. Almost popped his head through. And then loses control of the football. Kicks it away and concedes a penalty.
Not bothering.
Well, Chrissy Sando didn't need to do that. Getting up to play the football, he's lost it. And then running over, ill-disciplined bit of play by the young halfback. And Jared Maxwell is not in the mood to cop that tonight.
Now slowing it down. Benji Marshall looking for touch. As these two sides do battle in front of a crowd of just over 23,000 people here at ANZ tonight. Sando aggressive in the tackle on the much bigger man for feeder there. Dwyer in 16, who got a run early with the head knock to Keith Galloway as Robbie Farrell links with Chris Harrington, gets around Isaac Luke, offloads the football. Great tackle, Dave Tyrrell. Farah and a Harrington looking for the run around. Chris Harrington, he looked for Robert Louis, Benji Marshall or Robbie Farah. He needed some help there, some guidance. And the Tigers, they could well secure it here. A try to Mitch Brown.
5. Just the grounding here, please.
With 11 minutes remaining, the Tiger was outnumbered, but has he shown more urgency to get to the football, and will he be rewarded for it?
Well, Mitch Brown chasing through the kick from Benji Marshall. Going to the line, Benji, enticing the defenders to come to him. And a well-weighted kick. And it had to be perfect in between the fullback and in between Talanoa. Well, I need to have a closer look at this one. I thought he grounded it with his hands. Is this going to be a torso try? Certainly no control. And I think there's separation. That's what we're looking for, separation. I would never give this a try. I would never give it, because I like to see players have a little bit of control over the football. For me, he's lost it, but they will look for separation. That's what they're looking for. And there is no separation, so I would say this will be a try. I don't agree with it if it's a try. And I'm happy for that decision to come up.
No try, and still very much game on. 6 points the difference. Out to the 20-metre mark we come.
It's a bit like one of those passes where they hit the chest and they roll forward and you place your hands on the football.
Yeah.
And they say, play on. That's a try. You know, he never had control of that at all. Steve Clark thought he just about control or thought about separation. I'm sure he thinks that there was no separation there. Well, there was separation.
There was separation, yeah. Just short of halfway. Just on 10 to go. Sando. Wrapped up there by opposing 7, Robert Louis, and also Ashford. Here is Jason Clark. Off loop to Wesser. Ball ruled forward. Jason Clark, not a well-known name in this South Sydney lineup. Captained the NYC for a couple of years. That's him in 17 here.
Thanks, mate.
A good little footballer, and could be a key in this final 9 minutes.
I like that from Jason Clark. A pass. Got the confidence to throw a pass. And the players around him have obviously identified his strengths, and they were hitting holes off him. I think that was the correct call. Coming off Isaac Luke, travelling a little bit forward into the arms of Reece Wesser. But the holes are appearing there for the West Tigers in their defensive line. If South Sydney can defend, I think they'll get an opportunity, at least a couple, in the final 10 minutes to be able to at least square this game up. But the key is they can not afford and not allow the West Tigers to score any more points.
Marshall back to Ryan, who was flat-footed. Liam Fulton taking it across the field. Beats one, beats a second. Double pumps. Ends up somehow in the hands of Gareth Ellis from Simon Dwyer. And the big Brit over the 30-metre line. Moving into late count. The setup play here on 4. They go straight ahead for Keith Galloway, looking for the field goal to Benji Marshall. Strikes it. And pushes it wide. But Benji's not so sure. It was so high, everyone really had to study this. You be the judge. No, just out. No. Just right.
He missed it. Oh, he's saying offside.
Offside or inside?
Offside, I think. I think he was calling for the South Sydney players to be ruled offside. Wesser out of dummy half. Good run. Up and play the ball. Isaac Luke out of dummy half. They're not done with South Sydney.
Wesser and Merritt are the two men that are trailing the football mid-park here. Isaac Luke to dummy half. Plays to John Sutton. Now to Dave Tyrrell. Plays it back to the 5'8". Still going Johnny Sutton. Back to Jamie Simpson, who dummies to kick. Is driven in a tackle and loses the football. Knock on is the ruling.
Oh, it was building nicely there for South Sydney. They just can't hang on the football. And their finish to their sets hasn't been great. Simpson, oh, was he looking to unload? He's disappointed with himself. He hits the turf. But don't worry, Jamie Simpson, you will get other opportunities here. They are opening up the West Tigers.
Now there's a reason you could hear a Simpson say, go!
Oh, there, Roy.
I've got to grow up, seriously. Here come the Tigers. The hard yards here.
Well, again, they have to defend.
Yep. The Rabbitohs, they certainly do.
That's the name of the game. Defend. No more points for the Tigers.
Incomplete tackle there from the Rabbitohs. And a knock on here. No. Play on is the call. This is now Galloway. Back to Louis. It's on here, the numbers game. Louis beats one. Can't beat the second. The second was Dylan Farrell. Gareth Ellis will just settle things down here and do so happily. Great tackle. It's the little big man underneath, Isaac Luke. Now to Marshall. Wide to Robbie Farrell. To Liam Fulton. Back to Benji Marshall. Circles around looking for someone, looking for anyone. Takes it to ground on the last play. So Robbie Farrah is now the go-to man. Downfield.
Awful
turning.
set of six.
Yep, a very average set of six. Ended up with not a bad kick from the number 9. Turning for Julie Talanoa around to his goal line. That's what they needed. They needed to force the Rabbitohs to try and come out of their yardage.
Let's see what the Rabbitohs can do.
Long way from a good ball area here, South Sydney.
So important when you're under pressure to win those early rucks, early tackle count. Try and gain momentum. If you win it early, you win the set of 6.
Hope you're enjoying the action live on Fox Sports. Sutton, and it's on here. Dylan Farrell, 2 tries already. Steps inside from the sideline. Last play. They go to Sander. He decides Sutton is the man. And that didn't come off the boot well. Bo Ryan slips over. Sam Latu, he passes. Blake Ashford passes. And Roddy Takiri gets back into the field of play, but the ball was grounded in goal. Tigers fans Try and sit back and relax. Try.
Well, Bo slipping over. Great work from Latu to realise that his number one had slipped and was under pressure. And they're going to ground. But they kept it alive, and that is heart attack material. That is heart attack material.
Oh, Bo knows. Not tonight.
Oop.
4 minutes to go. 6 points the difference. Raymond low. Midfield. Options left, options right.
Is it now or never for South Sydney?
Asatasi. Off. Back to Sutton. Sutton! He scores!
Well, we're on 3 again. It's a simple case of the grounding downhill. John Sutton.
I think it's a try.
So do I.
I think it's a try. And South Sydney have all the energy. The West Tigers look as though they're out on their feet. And this young South Sydney forward pack have withstood the challenge. And now they're relying on their more experienced campaigners, Isaac Luke and John Sutton,
It's
to
Benji
get them home.
It's Benji here, Laurie, that has said he was held up.
That's a try.
Is he across the line there?
If he's across the line,
Yeah.
that's a try.
Yeah, I think it is. That's the way it's going to be ruled. Try. And the Souths fans have gone berserk. And why wouldn't they? They have been outclassed, outpowered, and outplayed for 76.5 minutes. Then John Sutton gets them back to within 2.
Well, it's an important kick now for Chrissy Sando. He'll love this. He's confident.
Hasn't missed one tonight, Laurie.
And
4 from 4.
West Tigers fans on that side of the field would be giving him plenty. And if he strikes it well between the post, I'd love to see his reaction to those fans.
Here we go. It's there, and we're level. 30 points apiece. 5 tries each, 5 goals each. And somehow this weird game of footy looks set to go into extra time. Russell Crowe loved it. So too Sam Burgess. Look at the Tigers now muscling up. Desperate to limit the metres here. They want to apply pressure to the kicker. At the end of this set, and they are going to have one full set of 6.
Easy.
Penalty, South Sydney. Mark Flanagan, the guilty party there.
Well, you would think South Sydney, if they play it smartly, take their time, run down the clock, will have the final set of 6.
Oh, Chris Sandow has only taken 20 metres there. The ball's gone back 15 rows. He could have put the side in a lot better position for the 1 point, and surely that's where we're headed. Isaac Luke, taken by 2. Asatasi pushes forward a couple of metres, still pushes, and they're over the 20. 8 of those metres were Isaac Luke, 7 of them were at the Tower of Power. Here is Asatasi one more time. Back to John Sutton. Back to Chris Sander. And he's missed.
Second tackle. Second tackle. He had no one on him, but the Tigers, they reacted. Somehow they pushed forward. It was Farrah. And just to the right.
Chrissy Sander. Confidence isn't an issue. With 20 seconds remaining, Bryce Gibbs on halfway. Benji Marshall, 51 metres, it's on the record. Here is Robert Louis. Quickly to his feet. Back to Robbie Farrah. Was there not a penalty there somewhere for the Tigers? That's what Robbie Farrah was playing for, and that's what the Tigers are objecting to. Regardless, the siren has sounded, 30 all, and we are heading to extra time.
What's what happened?
Mate, you again.
We're still complaining Robbie Farrah.
Oh, we said that one.
I think he picked it correctly too. But what a performance from South Sydney. Going into extra time, a host of big names missing.
What a second half it has been. One of mistakes, one of emotion, and one of some occasional brilliance.
Well, it started off in the first set of 6 after half-time. Bo Ryan knocking the ball back in the field of play, and Talanoa scoring. And then it opened up off the kickoff. They turned the football over South Sydney, and Chris Lawrence was able to score. Then big Keithy Galloway got into the action, scoring a try. And from there we thought, hang on, the West Tigers, well, if they're playing well, they should go on and win this. But they relaxed, and Farrell was able to score. And then Johnny Sutton, with only a couple of minutes to go, scored to make it 30-28. And then Sando, his reaction, pumps his fist.
Okay, let's run through some stats with you. These two sides did at Golden Point back in 2004. Willie Peters kicked the winning field goal for South Sydney. He is their trainer here tonight. The Rabbitohs have been there 8 times. They've won twice. The Tigers have been there 6 times to Golden Point. They've won just once.
Oh, boys.
So important for both footy sides. As far as quality is concerned, you'll see a lot better each and every week. But as far as emotion, this is why we love rugby league. It really is. Galloway up to the 20-metre. A good quick play the ball. Farah out of dummy half. Tried to spot the markers there in Clark and also Pettybourne. Marshall to Liam Fulton on the 40. Tackle number 4 already, so good defence from South Sydney. Bo Ryan secured by Dave Toole, still on his side of halfway. Robbie Farrah goes deep and looking for touch, he finds it.
That's a great kick from Robbie Farrah. Takes the energy out of this South Sydney team.
You do want to find touch on that occasion?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. First set of 6, extra time. Now you can apply some pressure with your defence after having a rest. You can move forward. You can be dominant.
Robbie,
you can make the opposition carrying the football feel really uncomfortable 10 metres out from their own line.
The West Tigers have scored more tries outside the 50-metre zone than any other footy side in the competition. That should be no surprise. And John Sutton
Walk away.
done something here. Is it a shoulder or is it a hand? He's clutching regardless.
It doesn't look good.
Trying to identify here what the problem is.
It's his wrist, is it? Or shoulder?
I think it's shoulder, and the Rabbitohs are blowing up talking about crusher tackles and arm locks. And Sutton's off the field.
Haven't they had a
Popped
horror
a
run
shoulder.
with injury? Injury, South Sydney.
We're closer, mate.
Johnny Sutton hasn't had a busy game, Laurie, but when he's needed to be there, he's been there. And in a great deal of pain. Let's hope it's short term. Surely Souths have had enough in regards to injuries in 2010. That is the first tackle. What it's done is given the Tigers just a couple of deep breaths and the opportunity to muscle up in defence, apply the pressure. Tackle 3, almost 2 minutes gone in this first 5-minute period of extra time. Asatasi quick to his feet. Good knock tonight from the captain, Isaac Luke. Pops his head through the line. Fulton, Gibbs, and also Robbie Farrell. Sandow with a long-range one. Bounces once to Bo Ryan. He offloads.
You look a little bit nervous there, Bo.
So too the Tigers fans, not only here at the ground, but also around Australia watching.
Well, that's where you need the fullback, just to get the football and chew up the meters straight away. Not thinking about it, he has to take the run.
Dave Tyrrell is now down in back play, just to his feet, but clutching a shoulder and late into the line. Keith Galloway, offload to Gareth Ellis. Didn't have support with him. Tackle number 4. Robert Louis, Robbie Farrell, Liam Fulton, a run around. Farah bumps into and off Nathan Merritt. Tyrrell there with the assist. Last tackle to Benji Marshall. Long range, he's hit it well. Oh, but not well enough. Close. Wesser took it on the full.
Why should we be surprised? Why should we be surprised with Benji Marshall?
Why would we be surprised tonight? This is a night of anything and everything. We've seen it all.
Well, they will have a shot. Will they have a shot, or will they try and win it with a try, South Sydney?
I don't think they've made up their mind as yet. Just short of halfway. Good solid tackle. Ashford on Isaac Luke, who has worked himself to a standstill. Craig Stapleton trying to chew up a couple of metres mid-set. Chris Sandow is begging his bigger mates to charge forward. He wants a shot here. He's in the middle of the field. He's got guards there. It's touched. And Marshall takes control.
Geez, that was a great effort from Keithy Galloway. He stood next to the referee, got himself back on side, and then he knew it was going to Sandow and raced up, applied the pressure. There's a bit of a charge down. And now the Tigers, they might have one last opportunity here to win this game in the first period of extra time.
Sam Latu down in back play. Here comes the Tigers, here comes Marshall to Takiri. Heads back infield, 12 seconds left. Make it 10 in the first 5 minutes of extra time. Benji Marshall, look for the field goal. Dummy to Chris Hyington. He kicks ahead. The Rabbitohs are there in numbers. And over the sideline, on the siren they go. A quick drink, change sides, and we're going to try and separate the Tigers and the Rabbits in the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, they are going to finish with 1 point apiece.
Well, 1 point may be handy for both these clubs. The Tigers battling to hold on to a position in the top 4, and South Sydney battling for their football life, trying to be a part of this year's final series. And there's Latu moving, or leaving the football, should I say, leaving the field, should I say. Really struggling out there. Roy Asatasi's been great tonight for a young South Sydney forward pack, leading by example.
Oh, the Souths fans, they are getting right behind their side here Now, I mentioned earlier the Rabbitohs have been here 8 times. They've won only twice. They've drawn 4 times in Golden Point. And we've got 5 minutes now to separate these two footy sides.
Well, you would think it'll come down to the players with speed. Both teams are tired. Both teams looking fatigued defensively, making some wrong decisions. So speed, footwork, and if you're going to the edge, throw numbers at the defenders. Bodies in motion around the ball players.
Second tackle here for the Rabbitohs. To his feet, Craig Stapleton. Fatuli Talanoa playing his part. Mid-count here for the Rabbitohs. Isaac Luke in a dummy half. Merritt one side, Wesser the other. He went to the former. Cramp time on tackle 5. And the opportunity to set up here for a field goal, perhaps.
Right, not to go early. That's fine.
As Chrissy Sander got the boot to travel this distance.
Well, I think the better kick now, given that there's been time out, is to go to the corners. Go to the corners or put Bo Ryan. I'd be electing probably to put Bo Ryan under pressure. He hasn't looked confident all night. Try and get a spiral kick happening and the chasers coming through.
And despite the fact this is the last play and time to set here, they haven't assisted Ryan at the back. He takes it nicely. Can't beat Wesser, the opposing fullback tonight. So 20 metres out. Marshall trying to flick it out the back as Isaac
coming in now, South Sydney.
Didn't he what?
Oh!
Takiri on the end of a Pettybourne special.
Here we go.
Farrell. Robbie Farrell looking for the penalty again, but he found 11 metres. Now it's Bo Ryan's turn. Ryan across field. Last tackle. Still too far. Benji Marshall.
Too much time.
Too much time, and a finalist in worst drop kick of all time.
Well, while they're very enthusiastic there, South Sydney, you still need to be effective with your contact. You can't allow the opposition just to bounce off the tackles and create a quick play the ball as they did then, the West Tigers. You need that enthusiasm, but you need to be effective. You still need to be slowing down to play the ball, winning that wrestle.
Keep in mind the Rabbitohs injury toll and the fact John Sutton has succumbed to a shoulder complaint. He is off the field.
No, Sandoz had a number of chances tonight with the field goal, but Nathan Merritt last year kicked one against the West Tigers at the SCG. Is he the man we go looking for now? He's moved in closer to the action with no John Sutton there.
Isaac Luke to Chris Sando. It's a biggie. Not big enough. Not straight enough. 2.5 minutes remaining. Back to the 20-metre line we come, but it is looking more likely that we are going to finish at 30 all. 7 field goal attempts. Not a point as yet.
I don't know. I'm not as confident as you that we'll end up with 1 point here. From what we've seen tonight, I think someone will win this game.
Here's Lottie Takiri. This could well be, with 2 minutes remaining, the West Tigers' last set in possession of the football. Galloway, good metres, and then back to Ellis. He was crowded there by his own teammates. Now to Hyington, tackle number 4. Benji Marshall is in position, but they need a few more metres. Back to Ellis. Good metres from Gareth Ellis. An opportunity for Marshall at dummy half, or also Robbie Farah. An ordinary pass to Farah, so he keeps it in hand. Tries to kick through, and it's taken by Chris Sander. A 2-man strip, and it's Bo Ryan. His nightmare continues.
First responsibility of Sando, fine touch. He has done that with a terrific kick. Halfway, the kick is up at the halfway line.
here they come. Asatasi. 43 metres out. The pressure is on the little number 7, John Sutton off the field. He almost stalled on that run, Craig Stapleton. Nathan Merritt across field. Gains a few more metres. Jamie Simpson's going to head straight towards the post. He does just that. This is perfect. Tackle 4. Sando at the back. He strikes it. Charge down. And Asatasi, with 15 seconds to go, plays the football.
Great effort, Bryce Gibbs.
Are we going to get one more play? Wesser. Wesser! Wesser! South's looking to win. To Corrigan inside. And that is the greatest victory of the season. South Sydney, how did you do it? Unbelievable.
What a performance. Outstanding. An inexperienced forward pack taking on a team that were looking to establish themselves in the top 4, playing for their life. South Sydney, and I think it is Dylan Farrell on debut, a hat-trick.
Not the greatest game you'll see all year, but the greatest game we've seen in terms of the emotion of it and how it unfolded. It was the Tigers for all money.
A tremendous battle, and hats off to South Sydney. They keep their season alive when many thought it was going to be over after tonight.
Dylan Farrell, debutant, handful of tries, mate. How exciting is that finish?
Well, mate, you train all season, that play with the boys is the best. Champo was injured, so I got caught up today. I just found out I was playing today, but best feeling ever. I can't explain anything better.
How courageous is the effort? That many injuries coming into the game. Passion had to really come through here tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Langley speaks about it all week, you know. Doesn't matter who's in the side, we've got to get some belief in the club, and tonight we did that. We showed it on the field, I reckon.
And these supporters, loyal supporters, turning up and sticking around even through the bad times.
I had goosebumps the whole game. I can't explain it, honestly. I had goosebumps the whole game.
Well done in your own effort, mate. Congratulations on your debut.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. No worries.
Dylan Farrell, absolute superstar, a hat-trick and the match winner on debut.